Hi friends, I'm Juani and welcome to Juani's house. With Valentine's Day coming up later this week, I thought today would be the perfect time to discuss this topic. And the topic is some tips for dating your spouse. Yes guys, even though you're married, you still need to date your spouse. And so I thought that this would be the perfect topic this week, and to give some ideas as for things that you can do to date your spouse. Now, I will be the first to admit, being married is hard work. I've heard people say that and did not understand it until I became married. Matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I asked this question to Mr. B. I said, babe, sometimes, do you not like me? And he was like, what? And I asked him again, I said, are there times where you don't like me? He said, no, I like you all the time. I love you. And he was like, why? Are there times that you don't like me? And I'm like, yes. Because there's some times that he can just drive me crazy. And so I have to be honest and say, like a lot of people say, marriage is hard work and you want to have to be in it. So I thought with Valentine's Day coming up, this would be the perfect tip. And I can tell you guys some of the things that we have done, not only for Valentine's Day, but just date in general. We go out on dates very, very often, and we try not to do the same things over and over again. And so my question to you is, one, do you celebrate Valentine's Day, or are you one of those who feels like Valentine's Day is every day? And so for us, we do a little bit of both. We might do something for Valentine's Day, we might not, but pretty much we do something all the time. So Valentine's Day is not really like a big thing with us. Now when we were dating, yes it was. But now that we're married, no, because we do something all the time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you about one of the things that we will be doing this coming up week. So here's some of my tips that I came up with for dating your spouse. So the first tip that I want to say is do some things that both of you guys like. Compromise. So one time, you know, when we first started dating, I would be the one who would come up with things for us to do, and then as we got further along, Mr. B would come up with things we wanted to do. But sometimes that is hard to put all that pressure on one person, and so compromise. Sometimes do something that your spouse wants to do, and they could do some things that you want to do. Or how about you taking over the plan and be like, you know what, I want to do this, how about we do this weekend or whatever, and you take over the planning so that everything will be on that person all the time. Another idea that I like to do, you know, there's always the dinner and the movie. That is great to get out the house. If there's, Mr. B is like a huge movie fanatic, and there was a time like every weekend we will be going to the movies. So now we don't do that all the time because I'm not like into movies like that. There are like certain movies that catch my attention. So we might just go out to a nice fancy restaurant that we have not gone to, or we'll go driving out somewhere to eat somewhere different that we haven't gone to, because we are big foodies. And so we like to try different restaurants. And if you want to try different restaurants, or go to different places and see what type of restaurants they have, one website that I love going to is Yelp. Yelp, it has been like an amazing find for us, because I can say I want Ethiopian food, and then it'll just tell me what these Ethiopian restaurants are, maybe in my area, some of them may not be in my area. And that's a great thing to do together also, because if you want to try different types of food, what better person than you to try these foods out with than your spouse? So that is another idea that I have. The third idea that I had, sometimes, you know, your money may not be funny, or it might be bad weather, or whatever the case may be, and you can't go out anywhere. But how about just sitting home and ordering in and watching a movie? That's another way for you guys to connect, and you can just sit there together, cuddle, and just simply watch a movie. Mr. B and I, we have this thing, like, he has to watch Saturday Night Live every Saturday, and he loves the, you know, the opening monologues and all that. So that's what we do usually on Saturdays. If we're not out at somewhere pre-planned, we are home and we have this thing. We will get us something sweet to eat, either some cake and some coffee or something, and that's what we do. That is one of our connecting times, and we really look forward to that. And you know, it's just time for us to sit back, chill, watch whatever we're gonna watch, and connect. Another idea, number 4, that I had was go to a comedy club. That's one thing you guys don't know about us. Mr. B and I love comedy clubs, and so we have gone to several of the comedy clubs, and they've put several closer near to where we live. So now we don't have to go all the way downtown anymore. But we love comedy clubs. Even when we're in LA, we would go to comedy clubs a lot. So that is something that you guys can do. And if you listen on your radio stations and things like that, because a lot of times at the comedy club, especially like on Friday nights, when they have like the headliners coming out on Friday nights, they typically can be less expensive. And if you go to the early show, and you may be able to get some type of discount. But even if you can't, just going to a comedy club can really, you know, bring laughter into the relationship and give you guys something to do. Also, speaking of going places, you know that we also love concerts. I love outdoor concerts, and we have shared them with you on our channel, on my channel, several times. And so we do outdoor concerts, we do indoor concerts, and you know, those are just fun. Now the concert these days, they can be a little bit pricey, so sometimes you may have to plan for them, but they are amazing to see an artist that you may have not seen in a long time, and you know, and it's just a good time to reminisce. And you know, you're back, especially if you're doing like one of the old schools 90s type concerts. Yes, take me back. Okay, so speaking of concerts, one of the best Valentines that Mr. B has done, and he has done several, but the one that I love was one where he we got dressed really fancy, then we went out to this really fancy restaurant in downtown Atlanta, and I thought it was just that was it for my Valentine's. And then we go to this little coffee shop next to the Fox Theater, and I'm like, why are we going here? So we had coffee and had desserts, but then he had gotten us play tickets to this play that I wanted to see that was fantastic. And so I was totally surprised. So that's another thing, surprise your spouse. Male or female, we love surprises, things that are unexpected, and spontaneous trips or spontaneous gifts are always great to have. I have gotten like the edible desserts at work just because, or you know, just a lot of things just because are really great, and they keep the spark into your relationship. Now another idea is, how about you guys go dancing? When was the last time you and your spouse went out dancing and cut the rug? You will be amazed at the moves that you can or cannot do anymore. So do that, go out dancing. And a lot of times, if you don't want to go dancing, how about a nice jazz club, listen to some good music? Yes, to just kind of soothe your soul. That is another great date idea, guys. And you know what, and a lot of times you don't have to pay to get into these clubs. You just pay for your drinks and to get you a bite to eat if you want. And you know, that is just something else great to do. How about a sporting events? Mr. B and I have shared with you that when we go to the Braves and Dodgers game, that is something that we do yearly. Last year we did, and the year before we didn't. We missed the game, but that is something that we enjoy. So do something like that, something that both of you guys enjoy. Or if you're not one who likes sports, and maybe you can just treat your guy to for tickets to his favorite sporting event, that'll be great, and you and him go. Also, you guys know, nothing's better than to have a picnic. Now that is a little bit too cold, And but in the warmer months, go and have a picnic by the lake. That is really inexpensive. I remember one of our first dates that we had, well, it wasn't one of our first dates, we had been dating, and we were young, our money was really funny, but we wanted to do something. And I said, well, let's go to the beach and have a picnic. Mr. B was not feeling it. Who goes to the beach and have a picnic? And I was like, we should go to the beach and have a picnic on the beach. I'll plan it. Of course I will, because I'm a planner. So he was like, it was almost like pulling teeth. So he gave in. So I had this really nice picnic. I don't remember what I made, but I made this picnic. I had our picnic basket, and we drove down to the beach. And actually it was Dockweiler Beach. And so at Dockweiler, that is the beach when you're at LAX. When the planes are taking off, they take off over that part of the beach. So when we were eating, and so we can actually watch the planes take off over the ocean. It is spectacular. Spectacular. And I said to Mr. B while I was on the phone with him, because he did not want to do it, was over the phone. And he was like, I said, you know what, babe? I said, come on, do something different. Broaden your horizons. And so while we were actually there, he said, you know what, babe? This was a really good idea. I had never done this before. I had never thought about doing something like this. And so while we were there, one of his friends had called him on the phone, and he told him, man, let me call you back. I'm with my girl. I'm having a picnic at the beach. And evidently his friend said, you're at the beach? Who has a picnic at the beach? And he was like, dude, get cultured. Expand your horizons. It was so funny, because those are the words that I had just said to him hours prior. So doing something different, doing something that's not totally in your norm is a great way to keep the sparks going and to date your spouse. And I want to tell you, it's great to like tour different cities, take day trips. There have been a couple of times Mr. B and I have just woken up and like, I think we're going to Savannah. We were planning on going to Chattanooga soon. That's going to be another day trip. Take a weekend trip. Now those types of things, unless, you know, not day trips, but weekend trips you might have to plan for. But we have several of those in the works coming up also. So if you can go somewhere to a close by city just for a day, just to see their city and see the surroundings and eat, a great getaway. Great getaway to get away from everything that's happening at home, and you know, don't talk about nothing that's happening at home, but just about you two and what you guys are, you know, what you guys are experiencing then and at the moment. And the last thing I want to say was two more. Is how about double dating? Double dating with other couples is a great way to reconnect. Now you want to make sure you're with couples who are like on your same wavelength and who not bringing no drama in. But double dating with other couples is great because you guys are conversating and you know the vibes are going, and that is great because it's great to have like friends who are married. I have friends who are married, but I have a lot of friends who are single too. So my experiences with my friends who are single are definitely different from my experiences when I'm with my married friends. So, but I love it when I am with our other couples and we just really have a good time. Now, speaking of that, one thing that we are doing this weekend that I thought was a great idea is that we are going on a couple scavenger hunt. One of our friends has planned this for several of us, and it's like, it's probably about 8 couples. And we are going on this scavenger hunt throughout downtown Atlanta. So they're breaking us up into groups and it's going to be so much fun. So I am going to be sharing that with you guys this next week because it's this coming weekend. So it is perfect timing for Valentine's Day. So I will be sharing that with you. So guys, I hope that I gave you some ideas about some ideas for dating your spouse, keeping it fresh, keeping it spontaneous, and you know, keeping it fun. So answer my question, do you celebrate Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day? If you do, did you celebrate last weekend or will you celebrate this weekend? Or is Valentine's Day every day for you? So I'm interested to hear what your responses are. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. If you are new to Juani's house, I would love for you to subscribe. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any of my uploads. Also, I want to thank all of you guys. It seemed like you guys really loved my room transitioning my space, and I have some more spaces that are coming up. And we're gonna do a lot of shopping because we are preparing to refresh and spring forward. We have spring forward coming in the next couple of weeks, so we need to be ready for our spring refresh. So I just have a lot of videos, but I wanted to make sure that I got this one out to give you some ideas if you wanted to plan something for your sweetie for the upcoming Valentine's holiday. So guys, I will see you in the next video, but before I go, you know what I always say. The next time you're in town, you can always stop by Juani's house, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.